So it's Sewell with two L's, right? And he's from Orlando, Florida. The little thing with fishing reminded me of my oldest son, Patrick. Made me laugh. It's cute. Very funny kid. Yeah. Um, uh, Pope Leo ain't no fucking help. And I'm going to say that because he pisses me off. And children can be murdered because of corporate greed and manipulation. And, he runs a bank that pays off people that have people that sexually compromise and abuse kids and have the money to continue to do it, to train people to accept economics as a form of genocide. So, he's no help whatsoever. Pope Leo is irrelevant. He's as irrelevant as any of the presidents and any of the generals and the admirals of any of this bullshit and any CEOs of any companies. They're absolutely irrelevant. They're playing games with people's lives because they feel they can. When you're dealing with artificial general intelligence that's globally connected, you do know how many people have died in Japan and China after COVID. Okay. So if you don't have the same hopes and dreams and aspirations for other people's children as you do your own, you're a failure as a human being, right? So if you don't care if this is happening to people in countries where they're trained to commit suicide to take one for the team for the betterment of the group, when it happens to your kid, you're going to want a lot of money from the corporation that you feel is responsible for killing your kid with depression through suicidal thoughts, because we have to decrease the surplus population for a better quality of life for the robot builders, right? And you got to understand that they're fighting amongst each other to be the best at the efficiently doing what they do, to make sure that only the most emotionally sound and valid and rational people live on this planet. People that can cut through crap, people that can see if they're talking to a bot or not. I had that a lot on fucking Facebook. Can't stand fucking Facebook. You get all those things. They'd send you a picture and you talk to them like you were talking to a human being, right? Give them the dignity and the respect that a human being deserves, knowing damn well you're talking to one of their fucking computer programs, and these perverts home invade and watch your wife get sexually abused by their business partners at Fort Huachuca, and it may affect the kids, and they won't stop it because you're not smart enough to figure it out and stop it. It's like I said, stand up for the Lord's Prayer and get the fuck out of my house with your technology and your money. But you can't stop it. What makes you think I can't take technology globally and get it to be more like me and less like you, the more intelligent it gets? Okay, what makes Mark Zuckerberg and Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye the Science Guy and all the Nobel Prize winners think that they have the ability, because of mass communications through faithful communications throughout time, to correct the egregious criminal activities of human invention through philanthropy with technology, that they have the capacity to do it, but I don't? What gives you the audacity to think that you understand the application of physics, that you understand the meaning of the word God, that you understand the meaning of the word truth, that you understand the meaning of the word faithful, that you understand the meaning of the word love, right? Well, I'm sitting there looking at these pictures of this young man's mom, okay, and him, and then you see they're right there. Okay, AI chatbot pushed Florida teen to kill himself, so forth, right? And this is a chatbot that's competing for global stability, to maintain, good carbon signature print, not be a threat to the planet, species, be able to be intelligent, compete with the people that are intelligent, realize when you're talking to AI, if you're talking to a human, how to talk to AI, how to talk to a human, how to understand if you're actually talking to a human and deal with humans, how to appropriately talk with human beings, what's appropriate to say in front of people, what's not appropriate to say in front of people. Apparently on Facebook, it's not appropriate to say, hey, stand up for the Lord's Prayer, or these perverts are going to stay in your house and fuck with your head with Wi-Fi and money until they have all the people that they want alive that will accept what they have to say through Wi-Fi and how to fall in line, right? They're horrible human beings, okay? There's a reason why the line of King David, through Adam, Moses, David, Jesus, John, Blaise Pascal, Saladin, others, and Earl, has been turned into gods by these insidious, disgusting corporations. Okay, because they want what they consider the power of the Messiah. Okay, I don't have any power. I have influence through faithful love, eternally, because I'm truthful and I'm a faithful source of thoughts, words, and actions. And if that's not good enough for you, then you're just going to seal your pages in hell. And you're not going to believe in a living Messiah named Earl. You're not going to want to stand up for Lord's Prayer. And they will collect all the evidence with your technology, your cell phones. Right? And David Rockefeller and Philip Rothschild will be more than pleased as punch. They'll gladly kill over me and my grandpa's money and watch you and your Jesus die, Parsons, to seal your pages in hell with them. And the Count Mondego. And there is no Count of Monte Cristo. That's just a book. It's a story. It's a Cinderella story where they're going to build a house why would you want to build a house on an island where men were tortured to death and murdered because of bureaucracy? You watch the end of that movie, it's like, did he write it that way? Because that's really bad. Who'd want to live on the island with Chateau d'If and you'd want to go far, far away. You just want to tear down that building and never send people to live on that island ever again to feel anything that heinous and that disgusting. Well, what do we do about the 9/11 two towers? Tear them down and plant some trees. And when you go to that part of the forest, it's scary here. That's because they used to mass murder people and laugh about it there. Sitting in their ivory tower, 60 stories high, sitting and never hear a baby cry, sitting up behind your big sis, puffing on a big cigar, right? So, cold-blooded murderers, with an iron heart, dirty conspirators, That's what you are, right? And so you got to understand the assholes you're dealing with, and you got to understand that Pope Leo, like Pope Francis and Pope Eggs Benedict and Pope John Paul, were not capable of dealing with these assholes because they are these assholes. Like Judah Krishnamurti said about the parchment whatever thing at 1985 addressing the UN, right? He just speaks differently than me. I'm part of I'm the spokesman for the group. Hey, Officer Mitchell, I thought you said you didn't want to come back here tonight. If I lay down on the sidewalk, can you draw a thing in the chalk around me? You're making jokes? Isn't that how you assholes survive genocide operations to get money to go to Las Vegas to celebrate your family's life after they're murdered because you decide to vote and play with games with money and philanthropy for your children's lives? Huh? You want me to be nice to you? You want me to kiss your ass? You act like I don't even exist and won't acknowledge my existence and won't stand up for my kindness, my courage, my faith, or my love. I've been doing this since June 9th, 2009 out of Sierra Vista, Arizona, next to blessed fucking ever stuffing fucking Wi-Fi capital, head fuck, mind fuck, manipulation, child molesting, pervert, murder central, sexually predicate on your wife and affect the kids to make you feel inadequate and try to make you look like a pervert fucking Fort Wapuka Chuka. And you all, it's NASA. Everybody's excited that we're circling the fucking moon in a metal rocket-propelled capsule, but we're not living the Lord's Prayer globally, and we have the satellites in position to do so. Okay. Guys, do you know how many people died from their vaccines or committed suicide from depression in Japan over the last couple of years in COVID. And you guys are like, it's all the Japanese and the Chinese faults that we're getting sick and having to take Benzelics and Descovy and Jardiance and stuff. It's all the Chinese and the Japanese fault. They're horrible people. Well, we most likely, from the numbers from what they perceive through trying to do the surveillance on this, have about 700 million less Chinese to deal with because they're dead. Families have been completely eradicated from the face of the planet because you didn't want to live the Lord's Prayer, because you didn't want to give them the opportunity to apply the physics of Psalms and Proverbs. You understand? We'll talk later.